Session of multimedia system. In this sessions we were discussing about the topic called the optical storage media. So let us recall what we have discussed in the previous session before starting with the new topics. In the previous session we had discussed about the CD-ROM based development, that is the complex development with respect to the diagram, and we have also seen about the one more technology, we call it as the photo compact disc, and we have seen the importance of the codec technology along with the photo compact disc. We have also seen the photo CD that is based with respect to the processing. We have seen the digital video interactive and also with respect to dynamic tool visions, and we have seen the compact disc recordable things. And finally we have seen the principles of CDR, so how does it work and all those things. And finally we had discussed about the different sessions, the importance of session, why the sessions are used, and what are the problems that's been overcome by using the sessions were discussed. In this session we will be discussing about the one more technology, we call it as compact disc magneto-optical. So as the name itself suggests, there is an importance of magnetic field in this optical compact disc. Let us look into this compact disc magneto-optical things. So it has a high storage capacity and allows CDs to be written multiple times. This is the important things, that is multiple times the CDs can be written. Means data can be added or recorded or burnt into the CD for more than one time. That is the importance of magneto-optical disc. Based on the principle that a higher temperature, a weak magnetic field is needed to polarize the dipoles in certain materials. Means we are making use of a materials in such a way that this principles totally work with a higher temperature. Means a high temperature is needed in order to polarize the dipoles, means the magnetic material, to feed the data into the compact disc. Here the blocks or the sectors to be written is heated up to 150 degree. In earlier version we have seen the temperature after laser light or the intensity that was needed with respect to the burning of data, where we used about 200 to 250 degrees centigrade, but here with respect to magneto-optical disc 150 degrees centigrade is sufficient, and the magnetic field is about 10 times the strength of the earth magnetic field is applied. This is important. 10 times more is needed compared to earth's magnetic field. Means imagine the intensity of the magnetic field that is being deployed in this technology. At this point the material dipoles or the different materials that is used in the CD are polarized towards the magnetic field. Means when the heat is given, there is an effect with respect to magnetic field. I gave you long back when I was talking about the floppy disk. So when we keep up the floppy disk in our pockets, due to the body temperature, that is a heat, the magnetic field would have been affected and the floppy disk would have been ruined. I told you why was it. So the same concept is being used here, but with respect to very high temperature, that is 150 degrees centigrade. Now here when we talk about the magneto-optical disc, pit is coded with the downward facing, that is magnetic north pole. So always here pits are facing towards downwards. As usual, the conventional way. Okay, we have seen even with respect to CD, CDR, CDDA, CDA and everything. In the similar way, here also the pits are facing towards the downward. Whereas land, that is lands, we have pits and lands. Land is coded using the opposite orientation. If This is the pit and obviously this would be the land, means the pits and lands are coded in a opposite direction. In order to erase the block, means if you want to erase the sequence of continuous data, the area is subjected to constant magnetic field while it is heated. Means you know that in a similar way the heat is generated or heat is produced so that the data in that field or a block is totally erased. Means if you want to erase something in that area, the constant heat is generated so that a particular data is totally erased. So when we erase that data, it becomes blank, so that next time or next instance a new data can be inserted in the same region using the same convention, that is a heat, that is a laser. So polarization of light changes depending on the magnetization of CD. Means this magnetic concept of polarization totally works with the intensity of the light, that is changing from the pits and lands with respect to 150 degree. In this way, the information can be written into the CD or read from the CD. Let us look into the diagram. So that is CDMO, we know that it is called compact disc magneto-optical. It can be categorized or divided into two. One is recordable area and another is permanent area. Where the recordable area is a place where you can have the option of rewriting as many times as you want. So this allows the concept of read write. So what is the technology used here? Read write with magneto-optical. So what about the permanent area? When you call about the permanent area, it is the preloaded information, like the information with respect to the starting, header, subject area, etc. all these things, where it is permanent, it is done at the manufacturing time itself. Let us look into that. What is there? So there might be lot of blocks. Okay, we are talking mainly about CDMO. So there might be different regions that might be associated. So when we talk finally, it comes under the CDDA also. We know what is CDDA. Okay, that is compact disc digital data, the data one part. Next here, when we call about the classification, even CDDA is read only, and even some options are given with respect to write ones. You might have seen in the previous technology, in the previous some of the sessions, we were talking about CDWO, means write once. Only one time we can write it on that. There is no matter of erasing on it. So only one time writing, the blank CD would have been given by the manufacturer, where we can look into that CD and we can add the data or write into the data only once. That is called CDWO, write once. So that was supported with respect to CDWO. We call it as write once. And how was the CDWO classified? It was classified into two, that is regular as well as hybrid. So when you talk about CD with the conventional regular kind of things, where it was used as just as a CD, it comes under the category of just a CDDA. So where data was preloaded, there is no matter if you don't use the concept of erasing, just making use of what has been preloaded into it, a CDDA. If you use the option of writing once, that is with respect to the hybrid, that is write once option lies here. So this is how the difference between the CDWO and CDMO magneto-optical works. See, look at this. There are two regions. So classification, that is recordable and the permanent area. With the recordable area, you have the options of both reading and also writing, means in respect to multiple times. Next. Next, continuing with the topic, we have the CDRW, means the compact disc read write. Next technology. In short, it is denoted as CDRW. So that is the most conventional way of using. So till now this technology is being used by everyone. Let us look into it. CDRW is a further development of CDWO. So CDWO supported only once, right once, whereas in a magneto-opticals it uses a magnetic field. Here it is using the conventional CD method, so which is an advancement of CDWO. So achieving by using reversible changeable crystalline structure, means there is a different crystalline structure, we call it as the materials that been used in this technology. Here it is totally underlined with the different layers. When you call about the layers, there are n number of layers like labeling layer, reflective layer, recording layer, lower layer, substrate layer. How does it look? All looks in the similar convention way. So there are n number of layers. So you might have seen I have just drawn 2 or 3. There are n number of layers, whereas in a CD technology we saw only 1 or 2 are supporting with respect to substrate layer. But here CDRW, it has n number of layers. Why is that n number of layers used? Which supports the multiple read write operation. We call it as reversible changeable crystalline structure. That is the importance of it. Like continuing with that, like CDR, the phase changes are made by heating this crystal layer using the laser light. Now here in the previous, the heat was used, okay, with respect to change of data, means 150 degree of heat was used with respect to the change of pitch and land, and also erasing the data from the blocks and sector. But here we are using the heating by the crystal layer using a complete laser. Here we have not precisely mentioned what is the amount of temperature that is needed. And also continuing with that, the energy is emitted as pulse wave. This is very important here. Means looking at the things, here the energy is released like a pulse wave. What is this pulse wave? Like this. So that's why it is called the multi-layer architecture. There are different layers. So when we talk about the things, pulse wave, let us represent it with a small diagram and see. Now let us consider here. Okay, if we consider this line, we can call this line as erase energy. Then what is this lower? We have a substrate, the crystalline layer. This would be the total crystalline layer. Now what happens? Look at this. These are said to be the peak values. Okay. Now when we talk about the thing, there would be two things. One is amorphous and second one is a crystalline. Here it would be amorphous. The depth portion is said to be totally amorphous in nature, and this is called crystalline nature. So what happens here? So here when we try to code the data, it comes like this. The data is totally represented, and here it goes into array state. When you talk about array state, nothing is there here. So data is coded here. Due to the laser intensity, again it becomes negligible. So again the information or data is coded. So when we try to erase the background, look at this. It looks like this. Now you feel a pulse wave, pulse kind of wavy motion. So this is called the importance of this CDRW, means the energy is totally emitted. Now look at this. This is the peak amorphous kind of light emission rays. So this is the peak intensity where energy is emitted. So this wave looks like pulse waveform. That's why we call it as energy is totally emitted in the pulse waveform. What is this? This region is called bias energy. And if a middle is called erase energy, what is the topmost called? The topmost is called write energy. Bias is the lower thing, okay? So where is that? Nothing but both the erasing and also writing, this energy is needed. Whereas if the intensity of laser light is reaching up to this level, this layer, it is called erase one, means the total data here is getting erased. And if the intensity is moving up, means more data in the substrate layer is been pushed into the crystalline structure, so the data is deposited on the CD layer. So this is about the CDRW. Continuing with that, this technology is no longer possible to read and write disk on the every CD player on the market, since the refractive layer is lower than the CD and CD high. This is very important. This technology is not at all supported by till now, till in the devices with the market available in the market. It's not supported because the reflective layer is very low there, because here the total reflection is very high comparatively. So when we talk about the reflecting property, let us compare with respect to the different technology. So there are mainly three different types of technology and the reflectivity. So first one, when we talk about CDDA, it has the reflectivity up to 70%. This is the highest reflectivity, means so when laser light is hitting the layer, there is more amount of reflection happening. So when we talk about CDR and also with respect to CDWO, both have the reflectivity of 65%. But now when we talk about CDRW, the reflectivity is only with respect to 10 to 15%, or sometimes even it can range up to 20%. Optional. Okay. So here it uses very low reflection. Okay, this devices uses very low reflection technology. That's why it is much more advancement. Whereas these uses very high reflection. So that's why these technological devices cannot be used with the devices that are supporting with these technologies, that is CDDA and CDWO. This was about the CD-RW. Next, next is one of the important topic called digital versatile disk, popularly called as DVD, the most popular technology in today's world. So what is this DVD? DVD, with the view of its largest space, means totally the intention of DVD was developed with having huge storage space. Earlier, if you look into the methods or the conventional approaches of CD development, it was one with respect to data and second one with respect to photo, that is photo technology can be adopted. Later they started thinking of combining, and after that whatever the development has happened, it is only based on completing with respect to huge storage space accommodation. Even this technology is emerged keeping in mind with respect to the huge storage space, that is the device was needed to store or accommodate large amount of data. When you talk about the DVD, the logical refinement of the CD-ROM, CD-RAM and also CDR and CD-RW technology was used. Means all the previous existing technological concepts or the specifications were used in order to achieve the DVDs. In 1994, many companies worked for higher storage capacity. Means this is not a new technology, it was started during 1994 itself. Means many firms, many companies started to produce a technology so that large amount of storage capacity was needed. So but in 1995, several companies joined the forum of DVD consortium. I told you when we were talking about the CD technology in 1995, when you talk about the history of the optical storage, I told you about the DVD consortium. Now I am repeating those concepts. In 1995, all these companies which thought of having the huge amount of storage technology with respect to optical storage, they combined together along with the DVD consortium and passed the first standard in the framework of DVD forum in 1996. In 1994, people thought they wanted to have a huge storage capacity disk, that is optical disk. So in 1995, many companies, they thought rather than having individual approach, let us all combine together and work with that. So in order to achieve it, so in 1 year, in 1996 itself, they were able to come out providing a specification and a standard. In 1996 April, this standard of DVD was disclosed or announced. When we talk about the technical basics, so when we talk about the technical basics, DVDs was used to achieve a higher capacity than CD-ROM. The main intention or the technical aspect that was developed or introduced was to have higher storage capacity when compared to the CD-ROM by using smaller bits. This is the key parts. Here, how did they achieve it? Smaller bits. Means data, where the data was been pushed. I had shown about the bits and LAN and working after CD technology. You recall those concepts. So smaller bits were used when compared to CD-ROM. What does it do? Which yields higher track density. The intention was to have means when smaller bits were used, we were able to get more number of track density, means more tracks were used. When more tracks were used, obviously more data can be pushed into the CD-ROM technology of DVD. So larger data area, more efficient coding of bits and more efficient error correction was achieved. I know that when we talk about the concept of the CD-ROM technology with respect to error correction and error detection, with such a small tracks or a small data available storage, we have huge number of bits for error detection and error correction. When you have large spaces, you can have huge amount of bits or bytes for error detection and error correction means. Now in this technology we have efficient error detection and error correction concept. Now while talking about the continuation with this, it also consists of number of blocks, whereas in a CD-ROM technology we had a limited things. So those limitations can be overcome here. When we talk about the number of blocks, can we imagine what is the amount of blocks here? We have 37,856. Look at this. We are able to achieve huge number of bytes of blocks, means so much amount of blocks bytes were used in particular block, means in one block, okay, we were able to accommodate 37,856. When we try to recall about the CD technology, we were able to have 2048, 2056 approximate range. It was in 1000 of 2000 range of bytes were accommodated in one block, whereas in comparing with the CD with respect to DVD, we are able to have 37,856 bytes in each block. Now you can imagine the amount of storage that was available. Continuing, each block consists of 16 sector plus, means each blocks can have more than or approximately, they have said 16 sector plus, means it is not that only 16, there are possibility of having more than 16 plus of additional data for just error detection and correction, means we were having the potential of error detection and correction to a greater extent. This is about the DVD basic technology. Let us look into the pictorial representation, that is a cross section of a DVD. Consider this as a magnifier, okay. This is the DVD. We are taking a small portion of DVD. Okay, when we magnify it, okay, it looks like this. Here, the tracks, the data is located like this. It would be unevenly distributed. There is no a particular rule that data should be of same size, all these things. Even we have seen this in a CD technology. Now, the distance between the one track and the other track is almost 0.74 micrometer between those two. So here it is very less between the one track and another track. Now the distance of this width of this area, that is the pitch, is almost 0.24 micrometer. Now you can recall the basic technology of a CD and compare it with the DVD. That's why here the bits are compressed. Okay, when you compress the data, you have more space, means you have more accommodation for the tracks. So when more tracks has been allowed, you know that 37,850 bytes of information per track can be accommodated. Ultimately, when you talk about the summary, you have more amount of storage space. This is what with respect to the CD technology advanced with the CD-ROM. Now let us look into the architectural distribution of information. Now we have seen with respect to CD with CD-ROM mode 1, mode 2. When we talk about extended architecture, we have seen CD-ROM mode 2 of form 1 and also CD-ROM mode 2 of form 2, and we have given the block description, what would be the data and what kind of information would be stored. Here I told you about there are 12 rows, means individual sector consists of here every individual sector consists of 2064 bytes of information, which has been divided into 12 rows. Look at this. This is very important with respect to DVD technology, means individual sectors are able to accommodate, or it consists of 2064 bytes. Individual sector, each sector, and each sector is divided into 12 rows. So what are these 12 rows? So what kind of information is stored in these 12 rows? Let us look into it. So we can write it as row and here contents. When you talk about 12 rows, it starts from 0 to 11. Not 1 to 12, it is from 0 to 11 rows. So what does the first row 0 contain? 0 contain 12 byte of sector heading and 160 bytes of user data. Means, look at this, in the first row of 0, it consists of 12 byte sector heading, means there is a header space where header indicates the indication of starting of that sector, and also it involves the what kind of data or information is stored. For that you have 12 bytes are allocated, and also it consists of 160 bytes of user data here itself, and also row 1 consists of 172 bytes of user data. And this goes on, and finally when we talk about 12th row also consists of 172 bytes of information per sector. This is important, means each row provides you 172 bytes of user data that can be accommodated from 1 to 10. Then what is 11th, that is the 12th. Okay, 12th row that has been mentioned as 11, what does it contain? It consists of 168 bytes of user data and 4 bytes of error detection code. So here what happens here, instead of 172 bytes, it consists of 168 bytes and remaining 4 bytes. Remaining 4 bytes is used for error detection and correction. So here we know that in CD-ROM technology, the last 2 or last 4 bits were used for error detection and correction. The same has been used here also. So from the row 1 till the row 11, that is 10, mentionally from 0 to 11. So these rows are used for user defined area. User can accommodate or write its own data into this region. Even the 11th mentioned row, that is the 12th row, can accommodate up to 168 bytes of data, but the remaining 4 bytes is used for error detection and error correction. So this was about the basic technology with respect to DVD. Continuing with the DVD, let us look into the different standards. So when DVD got popularized, different versions of DVD were available. So we call it as DVD standards. Let us look into the different DVD standards. What are those? The first one is DVD-ROM. It specifies with respect to high storage capacity medium like CD-ROM. That's it. So what is the intention of DVD-ROM is to have high storage capacity as per the CD-ROM. But compared to CD-ROM, much more better. Second was the DVD video. So here this is a specific application, okay, of DVD for distributing linear video data streams. Here what happened is this was used for video data streams, and this was linear in nature. Because it is linear, we were able to get a continuous motion of data streams. So third one was DVD audio. This is also used for a specific application of DVD to distribute pure audio data, which is something like CDA. Where it is extensively used specifically only for storing audio information, where in CDA, that is CD audio technology, we used only to store the audio with respect to good quality. In the similar way, CD audio was used with respect to, with the same technology of extended version of CDA, but here huge amount of audio with a very good clarity was stored. And next we have DVD-R. R stands for recordable, where this is a variant of DVD that allows the data to be recorded once, later the user. Means here data can be recorded once, okay, like CD-R similar. So but here it is DVD-R. And finally we have DVD-RW, like that of CD-RW. This type of DVD can be repeatedly written, erased, and also it can be used n number of times. It is something like we can call it as DVD RAM, that is random access memory. Those DVDs can be accessed repeatedly, and also it could have been erased. So these were the topics I had wished to explain. So when we talk about the recalling of the topics that we have discussed in this session, first we had discussed about the compact disc, magneto-optical, how how the magnetic field is used, the amount of heat that is used to store the data into the information, and also how data plays or the heat plays major role in with respect to the data recording and data erasing is also seen. And continuing with that, we have seen a diagram representation of the CD magneto-optical with respect to CD WO, and we have seen the one more technology, that is compact disc read write, we call it as CD RW. And also we have seen the energy emitted with respect to the pulse waveform representation, and we have seen the comparison of the reflectivity of various CD technologies, that is CDDA, CDR, CDWO, and also CDRW. Finally, we have discussed about the one of the important concept or a technology, that is DVD. So we have seen the history of the DVD, how it evolved and when was it evolved. We have seen the technical aspects, that is technical basic things of the CD, how the blocks, sectors, and been other things out there. And so one more thing to recall, each block is able to accommodate 36,856 bytes of information. That is a greater impact. We have seen the cross-sectional view of the DVD, and we have seen the individual sector, how it has been represented. And finally, we have discussed about the different standards of DVDs. So these are the things I had wished to discuss in this session. Thank you very much.